South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem said former President Trump should not pick fellow GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley as his running mate. Noem was asked by Newsmax Eric Bolling if it would be a mistake if Trump chooses Haley to be his vice presidential pick. She replied, yes, without hesitation. But if he picked her, I would tell him I disagreed with him, but then I would support the ticket because he's still the president. The president still makes the decisions, Noem said Tuesday. Noem has previously said she would be Trump's running mate in a heartbeat. In September, the former president said he likes the concept of a female vice president, but hasn't given much thought to whom he would choose. Noem is among a group of rumored candidates, including Haley, who has gone head-to-head with Trump campaigning so far. And, I've had a lot of disagreements with Nikki Haley over the years, and I just don't know which Nikki Haley is going to show up every day, Noem said, highlighted by Mediaite. She's a different person depending on whatever works for a political agenda. So what I love about President Trump, or what I think that the American people love about President Trump, is that he's just himself and he's just genuine, Noem continued. He's just a normal human being who tells the truth and gets up every day fighting for people. He has no reason to do this job other than the fact that he really, truly does believe in America, and he wants to put the people out there. They get up every day and go to work. He wants to put them first. Noem is not running for president in 2024, but has maintained a public presence, frequently appearing on cable TV and running an ad on Fox News ahead of the first Republican presidential debate. Trump is the leading candidate for the GOP nomination, but has not made an indication as to who will be his running mate. This is interesting. So, probably several weeks back, it might have even been closer than that. So many of these different people say things, but you had a similar set of comments by Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was talking about how Trump's fans or supporters would rebel if he picked Haley as his running mate, and we'll get into the rationale for that. But I'm finding this so interesting because, like, when you think about McCarthy saying that he believed Haley would be the best person for Trump's running mate, there must really be some fuel to the fire that he might pick her as his running mate. But let me go through what Noem said. But if he picked her, I would tell him I disagreed with him. I don't even believe that. Like, the number one thing about that cult, whether it's the politicians or the people who support him that voted for him, is disagreement is not allowed. And whether she disagreed or not, she admits here, I would still stand with it. I would still support it. Because it really doesn't make that much of a difference. That's one of the things I said before about how Haley being included is not going to detract any votes from Trump. Anyone that wanted to vote for Trump is not going to say, I don't like who his running mate is. They're still going to vote for him anyway. So her being there does not hurt him as far as with his base. They will stand by him no matter what. That has been proven time and time again. And I've had a lot of disagreements with Nikki Haley over the years. What are the disagreements? If Noem came on there and said, I don't agree with Haley on giving aid to Ukraine, Israel, or some other specific issue, I'd be the first one to be clapping, saying, great job, South Dakota governor. Thank you for articulating your disagreements with this lady. But instead, it's just the nebulous thing of, I've had disagreements. What are they? No idea. They won't tell you. I just don't know which Nikki Haley is going to show up every day. She's a different person depending on whatever works for a political agenda. So this is something that has been said of Haley before, which is that she's kind of like a chameleon, flip-flopper. And most of the time they point to her saying that she wouldn't run if Trump ran, and then, of course, reneging on that. But in terms of her positions, I don't think she's really been all that inconsistent. I mean, when she worked under Trump as a member of his cabinet, as most cabinet members do, she praised him, said how smart he was, etc., etc. And when you're running against someone, you're supposed to highlight what is good about you, what's not good about them. Maybe you talk more about yourself. And even in doing that, she still really hasn't gone after Trump in a, as much as like Chris Christie has, for example, where she just sort of will say, oh, chaos follows him and he was weak in the knees on this, like little generic light stuff that really shows how hesitant she is to directly go head to head with him, which is one of the reasons why I don't think she's going to win this primary, because there is no strength in not being able to attack the front runner of a race that you supposedly want to win. But I don't necessarily agree with her being a different person depending on what her political agenda is. I think her positions have been pretty consistent. This is just what I've observed. Maybe there's some other thing I haven't heard of. So I just what I love about President Trump, what I think the American people love, is that he's just himself and he's just genuine. I'd say he is himself, but I don't know about genuine. He's a normal human being who tells the truth. Now that part we're gonna have to stop her at. Uh, if we want examples of Trump lying, I mean, I'd rather not have this be a 30-minute video, but notably during the longest government shutdown in American history, which was over the border wall, we have a clip of Trump saying that he would take responsibility. A clip of him in the Oval Office with, I believe it was Schumer and Pelosi. And then after the shutdown started, he was blaming the Democrats. Why don't they support my wall? Um, he said during this campaign that he doesn't want to cut Social Security or Medicare. But then when he was president, during his budget proposals, he would propose cutting those programs. So there's been multiple lies on his part, but his supporters, man, they don't believe in reality. That's just I just always think of those two examples above anything else because they stand out the most to me. Just seeing them in real time. He he has no reason to do this job other than the fact that he really truly does believe in America. See, that's more nonsense on her part. There's a contingency of people who believe Trump is only running to avoid going to jail, having presidential immunity. So there is a reason for him wanting to have this job besides, and he mentioned before, being retribution and seeking out to air out grievances. There's plenty of reasons why he would do this besides believing in America. Um, he wants to put the people out there. They get up every day, go to work. He wants to put them first. Yeah. Okay, so this comment by Noem is notable for two things. One is that I think she's following Marjorie Taylor's Greene template, where you've got these chicks that are way more aligned with Trump than Haley is right now, as somebody that's run against him, and she's worried that Haley might get the spot because she's the second place person. A lot of times with various presidential tickets, the person in second place would be the running mate as to consolidate both sets of votes. The people who are for the first person, people who are for the second person, like a unifying thing with the party. So she's worried that that might end up happening, and then she'll have to wait until like 2032 to even possibly be able to consider running for president. Um, and I think this is her way of trying to be like, I, I, I'll stand by President Trump no matter what, but I don't think he should pick that person. We don't know what they are. No, I think it's jealousy. I think it's wanting that job, trying to shove away the competition. And the sad part is that, as I've explained before, Noam is going to lead to her own political demise. You look at what happened with Pence. If you go back to 2019, 18, everyone was saying Pence 2024, Pence 2024, right? Because it was assumed that if anyone was Trump's successor, it was going to be his VP. Instead, what happened? After losing a second term, Trump runs to try to get another term this year. Pence runs against him and can barely even register single digit in the polls and drops out several months before voting even starts. That's why I said, like, it's sad that these people can't recognize that no matter how much you might cloak yourself in Trump or you support all of his positions and you get on TV and talk about how much he loves the American people, he's going to betray you. He's going to stab you in the back. And really, I think Noam would be so much better suited as a person that apparently is ambitious if, she came on again, did the little like praising Trump comment thing. Um, it doesn't like go too hard in trying to become his running mate, and then finished her term as governor and then ran for president in 2028. If in the event that the Republicans lost it, this year, I think she'd be better off if she just kind of like tilted around praise of him, but never wholly attached herself, because I do think that that has not worked for anyone that's done it. Um, but yeah, she's somebody else that wants that job. I would lean towards her being a more likely and more logical pick than Marjorie Taylor Greene, by virtue of being a governor and someone who's held multiple offices, someone that I think more people would be convinced is ready to be president than some two-term congresswoman. But there is an argument to be made that Haley still would make more sense as the person in second place, that he could at least be seen as like throwing an olive branch to those that didn't vote for him. But no, Noem is just repeating the same playbook we saw from MTG a few weeks back. This whole like jealous, I want this job, so let me tear down the person who possibly might get ahead of me. And it's so stupid too, because it's like Trump is not watching these interviews. He's not sitting in front of a TV. Ooh, what did Kristi say about me today? They're just it's sad, man. Like honestly, if being a politician means just kissing up to somebody, hoping they'll give you appoint you to a position, you can have it.